in a city full of religion. And you probably wonder, well, why would you listen? He placed you in a city full of religion. That is kind of out there, like full of religion, religious people. You know how hard that is? But he placed you in a city full of religion. That's it. So that he can do what he want to do. All God is saying, I want to raise up one that will break the back of religion. And I chose you. Now, if you listen, Faith in the Word Ministry, the church could be in other areas, another city, wherever, where you got churches that actually they're not set in religion. They're moving in things. But God placed this church in the heart of a city surrounded by religion. Amen. So, okay. Now, you are finally seeing why you're here. And nothing in no wise can stop God and what God is doing. Even the heathen have to bow. Even those who say, I'm not going to do it, have to do it. Because God said, I'll deal with you until you do it. So I'm excited that he placed this here. I'm excited. Talking to a young man yesterday, he said, I don't want to say that, we're in the front of a church, I don't want to say that. And we right there in the parking lot. He said, I don't want to say that because, we're right here in the front of a church. You got to respect the church. And I'm thinking, at one time, this was not a church. Amen. Yes, Lord. See, just because you put a name on a building, don't mean it's a church. But God will get the glory out of your life. And he places you in difficult situations. Say, okay, this battle, remember, it's not yours now. It's mine. I remember God told me, he said, I want you to tell the people you didn't do anything. When they ask, how did you do it? Tell them I did it. That's hard for some of us. And you're probably wondering how. Because religion says, I did it. A person who knew it was not of my strength that this happened will easily say, listen, if it wasn't for God, I wouldn't have this stuff. If it wasn't for God, these things wouldn't be. If God didn't open this door, I wouldn't have made it. If God didn't open this door, I couldn't walk in. Listen, because I've tried and I went, it's like I was up against a brick wall. And God opened a door in the midst of the brick wall and I was able to enter. Amen. It was God who did it. Yeah. It was God who did it. A lady told us yesterday, she said, I said, I met you before. She said, yeah, I met you. Yeah, we met. She said, I talked to you. And I asked you, did you want it? And you said, yeah, but you never followed it up. I said, yes, ma'am. I said, it's my fault. It's my fault. And I'll tell you about it later on in life. Later on in life, how God does things. And then you'll know. But God is able to take that which seems like nothing. I love it, man. God will take the weak things, those things that are nothing. God will take the foolish things and shut the mouth of lions. I'm telling you, man, that's what God does. Okay, God, listen. Let's just imagine this row full of people. And there's one puny person on this end. And everybody else on this, they look like they could be the one. And God said, no, I want that one. Because I want to raise this one up and pour my word in this one. So that when they look at this one, they're going to put him down, but they're going to know that it was God who did it. why. Check your background. Check your background. Where did you came from? What did you come up out of? What did God brought you out of? Where did he bring you from? What did he brought you through? Listen, think about the title you was labeled as. You don't believe God won't shut the mouth? Now listen, a lion is designed to devour you, to eat you. That's what it's designed to eat you. That's what it's designed. Listen, those things that came up against you were designed to destroy you, to design to eat you. But God shut the mouth of lions. And the very thing that was designed to kill you now comforts you. I know you're wondering what you're talking about, Pastor. Oh, I'm getting to what I'm talking about. Because listen, I'm not leaving wealth transfer alone. Yes. Until I see the manifestation of the transfer of the wealth. And I know people, people like this, because the thing came to me. People like this, well, wait a minute now, why are you talking about so much of wealth? Blah, blah, blah. But let me share something with you about wealth, okay? About wealth. You work a job because you need wealth. If you say it's not God, then why you, who live for God and God live in you, why are you working? Please help me. Why are you working? Why are you working? Why you are here? What is the song? Good Times, scratching and whatever, the Good Time song. Why you are here trying to make it? Because you need wealth. Here is the bad thing. Here's the bad thing. How is it that when someone makes it, we want to go to them and say, man, just give me some money. Tell me how you. Listen now, you're a Christian, you don't need wealth. You don't need no money. God will take care of you. Let me share you something with you. When God created everything and rest on the Sabbath day, he said it was finished. All the system that would come into the world, God said it was finished. I've already done everything I was supposed to do. The tree going to produce the paper they're going to take it and make money, and then you're going to be able to listen. The coins that they need, the copper and whatever else is in the earth. When you dig it out, you can go form these coins and stuff. Everything that you need, I've already given you. I'm finished doing what I was going to do. I'm through. I'm resting from my work. I told you, man was created on the sixth day, on the eve of the sixth day. Meant that when you begin to move and do, it was supposed to be rest, not work. How could money come to you and you are not doing anything? Well, here is how it works. Adam didn't have to make anything grow. Nothing. Everything was designed to produce after its own kind. All Adam had to do was to harvest what was producing. Hello. Hello. If that is true, Brother Joe, then why am I working for what God has already given me? Because my mind hasn't changed. I'm still thinking to become wealthy, I'm supposed to work. No, your whatever is supposed to work for you. Well, let me help you out. My seed is supposed to work for me. People say, oh, he sowed in bad ground. Okay, listen. Jesus became a curse so that I won't have to be cursed. Even the bad ground that I sowed in has to produce, Because if it is not cursed anymore, then everything is designed to produce like the garden was producing. And so, listen, let me share something with you. When Jesus was in Jerusalem, when Jesus was in the Garden of Eden, the people that were in the garden didn't believe. So he went outside. And his greatest production was outside of his hometown. So if that is true, then wherever I abide, it means my surrounding. If this don't produce, then my surrounding areas has to produce. Baby, I got countries that I haven't gone to yet that is going to give. Pastor, I'm with you, Pastor, but I don't like your teaching. Well, you ain't got to like my teaching. I'm doing what Sister Deborah said. I'm going with Joshua 1 and 8. This book of the law. What book of the law? The words that I'm speaking. I'll meditate on it. Oh, it's going to produce. It has already produced. Listen, there's no way that the devil would fight you in your finance. Listen, remember now, God put you in a religious setting. And in religion, it doesn't teach you that. In religion, you do this, you do that, all this stuff, this, and then we cheat each other in religion. But the way God does things is totally different. God tells you what to do. He said, listen, now remember this. I want to make sure that you know how things are going to grow. When you sow in offerings, it's going to produce. See, that's something that's cursed, supposed to be, because nobody wants them. That's why they're labeled as an offering. But God said, listen, I love them. And so when you put it in them, it's going to produce. When you put it in a widow, one who have lost a husband, because that husband was the main provider, when you put it there, it's going to produce. Because my hand is there. He's getting ready to cause things. He's getting ready to cause things to manifest. Listen, we're in a season where things are getting ready to develop. But it's not going to develop without you. In other words, if Adam was in the garden and Adam was in the Sabbath day, a day of rest, then where are you when you first, listen, when you entered Christ, you entered rest. Come unto me, all labor is work. Labor is stress. Listen, labor is you work so hard that you're tired, you couldn't get ahead. So when you got saved, the burden of laboring was lifted. Now you enter the rest. Wait a minute. Let me share something with you. Let me share something with a gift that God placed in me. And this thing came to me last night. It came to me so clear that I never really thought of it like that. I just thought of it as just working. You do what you got to do. But God placed in me, I believe, without a shadow of a doubt, I could have been an engineer. There was and I remember it now, going back on in my life, early on in my life, I remember just certain things that came back to me. And so this guy was doing a job, and, you know, he's, you know, my man. Okay, a man. I ain't going to go with no color. It's a man. All right, so you got it. All right. And so he was going to, the way he was going to design the thing, the way he was going to cut this way and then go this way to get to where he wanted to go. From there to here. And so he's the maintenance guy, and he's going to do it that way and stuff. And so I asked the guy, the one that was over everything, I said, listen, let me share something with you. Okay, you know, all I'm just like, I'm helping him. And I said, let me ask you a question. He said, go ahead, you know. I said, what if we do this? What if we just bypass this, cap this off, and go from here to there, straight shot? And that way we don't have all these bends. Because when you have these, you start losing friction. You start losing the strength, the flow. It cuts the flow because it got to do all this curving. I said, why don't we just go straight to it from here, put a 45, and go straight to the point where we want it to go. I said, you think that's better? I said, at the same time, now we won't have to go under all this electrical line. It will bypass all of this stuff. He looked at me, and he said, the engineer have spoken. Let's do it that way. But listen, that's just one now. There have been many different situations where people, especially in here, where we're doing certain things, and I'm thinking to myself, they know. Why? But then I thought about it, they didn't know. And so there are times when I have said, okay, give me a moment, because there's a better way. Give me a moment. And I just walk off and think about it. And all of a sudden, a better way comes. And I said, okay, well, let's do it this way. Do it like this right here. Oh, that's better. Let's try it that way. And it works better. It's like it comes easy. It comes easy. Even when I was like playing basketball, young now, playing basketball. And as I got to understand the game a little bit more, I start thinking to myself, there's a better way to do it. There's an easier way to do it. There's a smarter way to do it. I never told nobody that. And so when I execute the smarter way, it worked. Placed in you that gift. But you never did anything. You just thought of it as. Because you've seen people doing things, and you're like, why don't they do it that way? Sure would save them a lot of time. Yeah. In the apostleship, the gift that's in me. Now, that's true. The apostle. There is an easier way to get wealth. And you don't have to go out and get in trouble. You don't have to rob. You don't have to take anybody through the drive, the cleaner, whatever you want to call it. There is an easier way. And this way is about calling those things that are not, calling it for what you want it to be. Now what you're doing is you are allowing the seeds of your mouth to become the thing that breaks up the fallow ground. Listen. This is the devil. And so here's what happened is, okay, wait a minute. If I can say something rather than work at it, it's less work. That's why you have people that curse people out instead of fighting. It's less work. Hello. Hello, baby. You might as well come on with me. You might as well come on and agree with me. Listen, I'm not going to fight you. That's why you find blacks people who will talk trash. They got all these things. I will put my foot so far up you be walking with 3 legs. All kind of crazy stuff. You know how we say them crazy things instead of fighting. So now I figured out, listen, wait a minute. If I can say those things, what about saying the things that are positive and allowing those things to produce for me? Oh, no, baby. Listen, I'm going beyond because he promised to give me houses I didn't build.
Amen.
I didn't build a house, but he promised to give it to me. Well, wait a minute. Here is what he's talking about. Let me help you out. Here's what I'm going to do. Listen. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm either going to deal with someone to give you the house, or I'm going to give you the finance to purchase the house. Either way it go, I'll take it. Now he said, I'll give you houses that you didn't build. I'll give you land. Land is territory. Hallelujah, man. Listen. Here's what I'm believing. I'm believing that there's someone who has wealth that God is going to transfer to me, that God is going to give them my name, and they're going to put my name. Listen now. I told you the thing that I'm going to say going to seem foolish, but it's going to tell the wise to shut up. I know what I'm talking about. There's a transfer. Listen now, let me share something with you. If there's a transfer of spirits with an S, if it happens with spirits and the whole thing is spiritual, then it means if someone can transfer spirits in my life, why can't this be transferred into my life? Oh, God knows it. My name already on one? That's it. And I'm telling you, I'm getting ready to walk into things. Pastor, I just don't understand. Well, why are you working? I'm just telling you, as a spiritual engineer, to work smart. I shall have what I say. And what I say, I shall have. I own what I say. I believe what comes out of my mouth. Listen, I'm not telling you something I'm guessing. I'm telling you something God has already promised. So all I'm doing is believing the promise. And I'm speaking on what he's already said. Proverbs 13:22. A good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children, but the sinner's wealth is laid up for the righteous. That's it right there, baby. That's it right there. That's it right there. A good man leaves something for someone. Because let me share something with you. There is already someone who said, I'm not going to leave my inheritance to my children, because my children don't know how to manage, and they're ungrateful and whatever else, but God is going to lay my name upon them. That's what he's getting ready to do. Now, this isn't what the verse is saying, but that's what he's getting ready to do. And then there's this poor widow who's getting ready to die. And she don't have no one to leave. Then let me show you how it works now. I'm going to show you how it works without work. Oh, my goodness. Now, God placed in you a gift. And God said, okay, here is how it works. In 5 years, this lady is going to be at the point of death. But you won't know she's wealthy. And in 5 years, from the moment you got saved, you're going to come into the full function of the gift I placed in you. And that gift is prophecy. And that gift is a word of knowledge. And that gift is healing. And I'm going to cause you to meet. And when you begin to function in the gift, because you're going to know, because inside of you I'm going to unction you that this person to give a word to. And when you start speaking the word and lay hands on the sick widow who is about to die, she's going to get up and be healed. And when she get up and be healed, she's going to remember you. I remember, listen, the gift that's in you didn't cause you to work. Because, baby, you can't take no credit for it. It was God, because God don't need the money. You need the money to move missions. You need the money to get things done. Glory be to God. She's going to remember you. Who better to give it to than that man or that woman who came and prayed for me, and he or she is going about helping people who are in my condition. Oh, I just want to make sure I'm in the house. Listen, don't think it's strange as to where you work. The next thing is, don't go to work with an attitude. Because your attitude is going to determine who approaches you. So if I have the right attitude, it's going to cause me to sow in my aptitude, baby. I'm getting ready to go someplace in God. Listen. This is why God, he placed in you gifts. Adam, I've given you something. And I'm telling you, Adam, you don't have to work because you're in me. And I'm in you. I'm going to do the work through you. Oh, you're still in. You're still in. You're still in. You're still wondering. That's why, listen, I said in 5 years, she's going to be sick. And in 5 years, you're going to perfect that God has placed in you. But if you delay, you'll miss your season of opportunity. You're going to miss your season of breakthrough. And here you are, I'm pumping you and trying to convince you and not knowing you were supposed to be 3 years ahead. And here it is, this woman laying on a dying bed saying somebody was supposed to come to me. Let me share something with you, baby. What you miss, I will get. See, yesterday you were supposed to be there, but God caused the woman to hold on another day. And because you didn't show up, he sends me. Because what was allocated to you, you didn't want it. So God in return gives it to me. Glory be to God. See, that was allotted to you. But you caught up in playing church. Because that's what religion tells you. Religion tells you we had a good time today. What did you do? We shouted and danced before the Lord. No, baby, I want to shout and dance when I know God getting ready to do something great in my life. When I know God has brought me out. When God has delivered me. When God has made a way out of nowhere. When there was no way that it could be, but God did it. Well, no way. When she was speaking, I said, I'm going to break the back of poverty in my family. I don't know about you. I'm going to break the back because I want them to come to me and ask, how did you do it? Because sometimes you ain't got to say nothing. Somebody else will testify about you. It's amazing See, now, this is something that you don't know that comes along. This is a little twist now. That comes along with wealth. If you can't handle it, then you might not need to listen to this message. Jealousy comes along with wealth. It's just a part of it. I don't like him because they think that they are better than everyone else. No. At the cross is where I met Jesus. And at the cross is where I still am.
That's it. Glory to God.
He gave me something you wouldn't take. Listen now. Listen. I got other scriptures. There's a lot of scriptures. Listen, there's a lot of scriptures. Let's go to James 5, verse 4. Oh my God. I'm coming into a wealthy place. 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 Because I believe this. I believe if God did it for Solomon, he has to do it for me. And the Bible says there's a greater than Solomon. That's in Jesus Christ now. That's in him. So if there's a greater than Solomon is in Jesus Christ, and I'm in Christ and Christ is in me, then the greater one is in me. So therefore, what Solomon had, Jesus has greater. Solomon had a display of what heaven would be like. Jesus had the part that Solomon didn't have. He had the power and the authority of heaven. Solomon had the wealth of heaven. We have both. James, behold, the wages of the laborers are mowed your fields. Read it. What did your Bible say? Is mine saying that?
Behold, the hire of your laborers who have reaped down your fields,
Go ahead.
which is of you kept back by fraud,
Yeah.
crieth, and the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth.
Anybody got another translation? What you say?
Verse 4 says, "For listen, hear the cries of the field workers, whom you have cheated of their pay.
Yes, sir.
The cries of those who harvest your fields have reached the ears of the Lord of heaven's armies."
Listen to me. Listen to me. Baby, listen. Listen. See, we have been like the Israelites, crying. And the enemy is the suppressor. So here's what they do. Okay? The minimum wage used to be this. Well, we'll move it up a quarter. And that's where your pay gonna go up a quarter. So you still oppressed. They're still holding you down. But the laborers are crying. God, how long are we going to be cheated? How long are they going to live like this? Let me tell you something. When you come into your wealthy place, now notice what I'm saying. I'm not going out on a limb. I'm speaking, I'm calling those things. When you come into your wealthy place, don't cheat the people that labors for you. You pay them fair wage. Because you are not the heathen. And you knew what it was like to be cheated. Because remember, the people that work for you have families. I remember, man of God, and I can't remember exactly, it was some years ago. He said, here he was, the church van, he got some church van, and the church van going up picking up people, and he had people driving the church van. And he said, the Lord asked him, said, it was Jesse Duplantis, always with Jesse. Jesse tell this stuff. He said, Said the Lord asked him, said, Jesse, would you drive those vans? Jesse told him, no, I ain't driving the van. Then he asked him, would you drive for what you paying them? And I think at that time you paying them like $10 an hour. Would you drive for what you paying them? Tell him, no, I ain't driving no van for $10 an hour. If you ain't gonna drive for $10 an hour, why are you paying them $10? See, it's like this with us. When we come into a wealthy place, we feel then we're in control of what people should make. That's the world's way. That's Pharaoh. The devil is a lie. The devil is a lie. When you work for me, I want people to be knocking at the door saying, is you hired? Because I heard you pay well. And I'll tell you, when you meet the qualifications, if you don't meet the qualification, I'm sorry, I can't hire you. I heard you pay well. I paid them decent. I paid them if I was in that position what I wanted to be paid. Because they got families. And the reason why I paid them well, because the Lord paid me well. Hallelujah. Listen, this is the person I am. I would rather you walk away and say you cheated me than for me to walk away and say I cheated you. But you have people right in here. Right here. Right in here. Right in here. Right in here. You know it ain't worth that, but you going to sell it to me. Hello. Let me go back to the word. It ain't worth $500, but you going to sell it to me for $1,200. Listen, baby, let me share something with you. Curse of you. Because you did it to yourself. One thing I want you to understand, God don't cheat me when it comes down to the gospel. No, baby. If I labor for understanding, he gives me understanding for that I labor for. Is that true? You put in, you get out. God said, okay, come on. Work this here. You work this right here, I'm going to give you some stuff. Work it. I want you to work that right there. That's what he told Adam. Work it. Tend to the field. Tend to it. Make sure. Look, Adam, all I want you to do is make sure it grows. Tend to it. You know what that means? You know what tending to means? From time to time, I can just walk through and touch it. Just make sure it grows. Tending to. Because there was nothing in there to kill it. So I'm tending to. From time to time when it produces a fruit, I go and get the fruit. Okay, baby, this is what we're going to eat tonight. Boy, you ain't ready for that type of stuff. He ain't had to work. Listen. God never cursed Adam. He cursed the ground. And he said, Adam, okay, now you're going to work. You're going to work now. You're going to have to till the soil. You're going to have to make sure that everything that this soil needs for it to produce is there. You're going to have to go and get water and pour on it to make sure it grows. Because no longer is the land no longer is the water going to spring up from the land and water it. Oh my God. What are you trying to say, God? I'm taking you back to those days. Not to the no longer will it, but to where it will. In other words, if it's in Christ, I'm in Christ, he's in me. So therefore, whatever he stood in need of, he spoke and it produced. Oh, I don't see it, but it will be. I don't have to see it. I know it exists. How you mean you know it exists? Pastor, you ain't see. There's no way that thing could come to pass. Watch what my God. Let me share something with you. If God can take a man and form him out of dust and breathe in man, now I'm not talking about the breath of life right now. I breathe in him living organs. Because they don't need to breathe life into nobody and no organs there. Why you tell me? Listen, everybody that's born with a deformity, you need to find your way back to the garden. In other words, baby, you need a makeover. And in Christ is the garden. Because he is the spoken word. And if he is the spoken word, the only thing the word was with and fix what the enemy had messed up. Okay, good. You got one hand? Good. Stretch it out. Because you were not created like that from the beginning. You were not created to be poor. Good. You got a shortage of your finance? You were not created to be poor. So let me restore. That's what he did. Now, there are those who will ride off of someone else because they don't believe for themselves. So they'll wait until you come into it. But I already told you straight up, I'm a fire song. Because you don't fit the mold. Because let me share something with you. You can hire worshipers. I know you ain't ready for that type of stuff. You can hire singers. And they'll come and sing till the glory come down. But you can't hire God. Let me move back up. Let me move back up. Let me move back up there. 1 Timothy 5 and 8. See, everybody take this thing and say it was natural work. It's a little more than that now. But if any provide not for his own, especially of those of his own household. Oh my God. Yeah. Listen, here is my thing. God, I want to provide for them. But I'm being cheated on this end. So therefore, I can't make provision for them on that end. Family, when I can do better, I'll give better. Hey, my. So now, what I'm doing, I'm speaking myself into my position to do better so that I can provide. Oh, you ain't ready for that time. But let me share something with you. Anytime you smoke cigarette, drink alcoholic beverages, do drugs, the enemy is taking, and gamble, the enemy is taking that God has given to you for the provision of your family. You buy something knowing you don't have the funds to afford what you just purchased. The enemy just took provision from your family. I look at the movie the other day, a little piece of pieces. What the movie called? Acrimony? With that girl? What a girl name? Taraji. Yeah, her. Now listen now. The man come to you generous. After you divorce him, accuse him of, I didn't see the whole movie. Accuse him of cheating on you. You divorce. The man told you that he didn't do it, blah, blah, blah. But you listening to those little cackling hens and roosters that were around you. Okay? Now, you would not forgive the man for what you said he had done. And the man tell you that they offered me $800,000 for my whatever project here. But I denied it. Well, I'm about to lose my house, blah, 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 grandma house, blah, 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 going on, all this stuff. But the man done everything he could do. Now the next thing, you in the divorce thing between the lawyers, the cackling hen, I don't believe that. Not a word he said. The man telling you how he felt about you. I don't believe not a word he said. You believe that? So now, the other woman, who is a gift from God, took the project, sold it, brought him the check. Woo. He brought to the ex-wife a check for $10 million. Thank for sticking with me. The little hens, you know them. I don't believe that thing real. You check the bank lens, I check the bank. Real.
All right.
I know you ain't like that part when I said hen. I know you ain't like that part. Now, you ain't satisfied with the 10 million. The man buys the gift that God gave him, which should have been you. A nice yacht. Hey! Now she mad. She want all. I want half. Take the man to court. This deal was done before we got married. Not according to the dates. Then the judge said, and what I'm seeing here, the man was more than generous to give you $10 million and buy your grandmother's house back. Hey, Jesus, baby, I would have shouted to the bank. Yes, we divorced. I know I didn't deserve the $10 million, but my God have mercy. This woman just brought me $10 million and bought the house back that I lost. We divorced, but I'm going to take the $10 million and I'm getting ready to move into a thing. Listen, God shifted my life. She won't have all. My ring, my boo, my man. The devil is alive. Baby, it is no longer your money. And the lady wearing it well too, boy. See, you have to make sure when God shifts you that you are able to deal with your past. Because your past is going to come back and try to claim you. Whether it's financial or spiritual. Because when they see your name in the headlines, they're going to remember. And those leeches that they were in your past is going to come back. And they're going to want a piece of the action. But you better remember, baby. You better remember. Listen. You are a part of my past. Everything I sown in to get here are the things that God wants me to keep sowing in. And it was not you. I got delivered from you the moment this hit. See, I was thinking about going back to you because I didn't have anything but the things you promised me. And you couldn't come through on your promises. So I thought about going back to you based on what you promised me. But God gave me a revelation because he gave me a better promise. And the promise God gave me was shut up in the inside of me. But I will be generous to you. I will do a little something for you. Where you and yours plan on eating at? I'll send you out to eat. Get you a chauffeur to take you. But that's about all I can do for you. You got to trust God the way I trust God. But let me share something with you. Shut up in the inside of us is an invention that's getting ready to hit. Somebody is waiting for what God has placed in you. And they have the checkbooks to back it up. Listen, God is going to connect me with a church. Not around here now. And the church is going to tell me, whatever you need, God has blessed us with the money to do it. Watch what he do. Amen. He said, you honor it. If I can state it, he'll honor it. Now listen, I got to throw a twist in there to help you out. Hebrews 13:5, you know, because I got to satisfy prophetess Shonda. I don't want her to, think that this ministry is all about money, and I want to make sure. And I want to make sure that she understands. It ain't about money. The Bible tells you the love of money. It didn't tell you money. It said the love of it. Sister Sean, you got a different translation from that one? Tell me what it says. The NIV.
Keep your lives free from the love of money.
Yes, Lord.
And be content with what you have.
Yes, Lord.
Because God has said, never will I leave you, never will I forsake you.
Listen to this right here. Listen to this right here. Keep your life free from the love of it. Sister Sean, keep your life free from the love of it. You can tell people who love money. They won't sow. They won't pay tithe. Oh, yeah. I had to say that to help Sister Shonda, I don't love it. I just need it. I don't have to have it, but I'm basing it on a promise. Because listen, money ain't going to put me in heaven. But if I love it, it'll keep me out of heaven. I can't buy my way in. But with it, I can answer a lot of things. Hallelujah. Money answers all things, It can answer a lot of things for me. Listen, you're going to be just like your daddy. The devil is a liar. I'm like my father. He was my daddy. I'm like my father. He never was a father to me because he didn't know how to be a father. Because a father is a provider. All right. And he didn't know how to really provide. Because his money was going there. His money was taking care of too much responsibilities. Oh! Too much offspring. And he's trying to take care of too much. So he could never be the father that he should have been. But I'm not downplaying him now. He did what he understood. He did what he knew. But I'm breaking that. Sister Jones, it's amazing. Now I had to throw a little footnote in there. Just a little note, just a little side footnote, whatever you want to call it. Listen to this. If you're not careful, you will fall in love with someone that you think you love because they display a trait that you didn't have when you were growing up. Deidre Haddon said, resting place, baby. So resting place. Listen, because you didn't have it in your life growing up, and now someone comes along and has that thing in their life, and you see it operating, and you wanted it in your life when you were growing up. So you fall in love with the trait. Because he was a gentleman, and you didn't have a dad as a gentleman when you were growing up. So you fell in love, so you thought. You fell in love with the person, but you were in love with something that they possessed. It's like when a person is poor and someone comes along that has money. You fall in love with that because you didn't have that when you were growing up. But in reality, you really don't love the person. Hey, how many people did that? How many did that? Listen. Because that person portrayed, listen, the person had a home, and you didn't have a home when you were growing up. So you fell in love with the person because they promised you a home. No, you didn't love the person. We do God the same way. I fall in love with God, but I'm not really in love with him. I'm just in love with what he can do. But God too wise. God knows everything. God knows your heart. God knows the deep secrets. God knows the hidden thoughts. And what God does is God says, here's what I'm going to do. I know you're loving me for the wrong reason. But when I'm through with you, you're going to love me for the right reason. Could you imagine this? Could you imagine this, Sister Shawn? Could you imagine this? Sister Deborah said love is a choice. Could you imagine this? Someone choosing to love you. And don't matter how much you mess up. I chose to love you. That's how God do it. I know you were going to mess up. And the devil told me I should stop loving you. But what he didn't know, I chose to love you. And it's not based on what you don't do. I chose to love you before you knew I exist. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine that? Loving you through all. You came out of one marriage and God watched you go into another one. You came out of one relationship and God watched you go into another one. And he's standing there saying, what about me? When will I get my turn? And then what God does is, here's what God does. He works something in that person to bring you to him. All right, all right. All right, we deliver from that type of stuff. We deliver from that. I don't fall in love because you can preach, Pastor. Because I want a preacher. I want to marry a preacher now. So I'm going to fall in love with you. Because I always wanted a preacher in my life. I wanted someone who could preach me to sleep. Preach me up in the morning. Preach to me when we talk on the phone. I just wanted a preacher. Well, you got what you want. Because remember, he ain't just preaching to you. Someone else said, I want to be preached to too. You laughing at me? You ain't supposed to be doing that. You're supposed to be playing the drum and stuff. You laughing. Isn't that something? How things work? But God, listen, he's my hope, man. I don't have nothing else. He's my hope, man. Everything that I trusted failed. Everything that I trusted. Relationships. I was not good at that. Everything that I trusted. When you come to yourself and realize, this is not me. I don't like who I am. Then you allow God to remake you. Oh man, he's molding me. Sean, he's molding me. He's molding me. He's making me. He's shaping me. Sister Shonda, when you see what God is doing in me, you'll begin to say, you're speaking like God. You have the fragrance of God. Listen, I don't believe God is a God that's a distant God. That I come to you and I see how God did it in your life. And I'm begging God to do it in mine. No. No. He told me, he said, stay right there where I have you at with this finance. Because I want to do the things I promise you. Now I say 2 million. But God said, I'm going to make you a multi-millionaire. A multi-millionaire. I'm excited to see him do it. But I'm more excited to see me and to hear me believe it. I'm convinced. I'm persuaded. Fully persuaded. You can't shake me. Because if you come to me and try to shake me, I'll know that it's the devil who has sent you. And that is proof that God is going to do it. Oh my goodness. I'm excited. I'm excited about a transfer. I'm excited about a blood transfusion. I'm excited about this thing. I'm excited about what he promised. I'm excited about the change. Listen to me. He took the 12 disciples, even Judas. and he's transformed their lives. But you know where God is taking me to? I'm going to tell you where God is taking me to. To a place to where, okay, you need it, you say it, and it'll be there. Here's how I know. He said, be careful what you say, because you can curse people. You can curse yourself. In other words, now your status in the atmosphere, in the spirit realm, is so profound that if you are not careful as to what you say, you can cause a generation to live in a cursed state because you got angry and sinned. Sister Shawn, I'm praying that every living being, every living Christian believer that is in this place, come to this place that God is taking me to. That your children will raise up and say, oh my God, I see what God done in your life. I can't deny it. I can't deny it. Listen, I mean, going from a person who worked outside in the field, what we would call it, to the person who is CEO is a major step. Let me share something with you. I am CEO of multiple businesses. And you ain't seen me. That's what you see. I say what I see. I live by my words. I die by my words. And I'm not going to let what you say and see kill it. Oh my God, Sister Shawn. Sister Shawn, baby, I'm in a position. I'm expecting any day $1 million transfer any day. Any day. Any day. When I come in here and tell you, I don't work for man. I work solely for God. Not arrogantly, but I work solely for God. I get up and I go to work like I'm on a daily job. See, when you get to the place to where your mind changes, that you can do so much for the kingdom, then God can trust you. And God, the only thing that's stopping me is time. %60 of my time is spent working for man. And I don't have but 40%. And I got to spend time with family. And I don't have much left for you. But God, I want 60% of my time to be spent working for you. Because there are things, there are people, there are places that you want me to be. There are people that you want me to come in contact with. There are different sessions that you want me to attend so that I can learn and come back and teach. Oh, my. Oh. Listen, let me tell you something. Now, I ain't too much care about too much of, you know. I ain't too big into too much of these gospel singers and stuff like that. Some of them are. But what God's going to do is they're going to be pastors, apostles that come in here and begin to deposit things into your life. Because that's what God is doing. Remember now, the woman of God said this is going to be a training center. Oh my God, you ain't ready. The connection is bigger than you have any idea. Oh my goodness, boy. Some of you won't have no choice. You will have to come off of your job. Some of you, you have a choice. You will stay on your job. I might as well tell you right now, just burst your bubble. Because I already watch you. You can't let certain things go. Can't let it go. And the only thing you'll be is a weight, rather than an advancement in the kingdom. Some people don't know how to discipline themselves. So you have to stay on your job and allow man to discipline you. Because when you can't discipline yourself, most people don't work a job because they need the finance. They work a job because they can't discipline themselves. See, every time I get free time, I get in trouble. Oh, my. There you go right there. When I got free time, I get in trouble. I watch things on the internet I shouldn't watch. I start making conversation calls with people that I shouldn't. I get involved in certain things. So I need to be disciplined. I need to be trained on how to be punctual on time. Some people need that, which you should be beyond that. Hey. Because I had to go through it. Because listen, in a business, I'm not punctual. God said, okay, I'm going to teach you punctual. I'm going to teach you punctuality. Okay, good. I'm putting you back on a job. And these people are going to be disciplined. You got to be here at this time. I'm going to teach you. Because here's how God works. You don't call in, not in my kingdom, and say you're going to be late. For what reason? Not because you got up late and you can't get yourself together. Okay, good. God said you ain't ready. Go back to the job. You think you can be punctual? You very punctual? We'll see. We'll see. Because I don't mind when God do this thing. I don't mind calling people up and tell them I got somebody who need a job. Because you need to go back to work. Because all you're doing is becoming stressed to me. And I'm resting. I'm in a resting place. And when I got to find out, are you on time? You ain't ready. People slip from time to time. I understand that. But for the most part, listen, they counting on me. I got to be there. They counting on me. I got to do this. They counting on me. This service is counting on me. We got to get this program. We got to get this service together. We got people coming in. We got this financial statement. Things depend on this. Everything God watches. And everything that is told to you, asked for you to do, God watching all this. And so sometimes the person you think you're marrying is the person that disciplines you. Pastor, I'm not a morning person. Good. The service don't start till the afternoon. I'm a morning person. I don't want to get up, but I know what I have to do, so I get up. Once I get up, I'm able to go. See, listen, I can pick 5 people that God will use instantly because they're disciplined. In here now. Because they're disciplined. Because they're disciplined. Listen, I know their spirit. I know what they'll do. When they tell you they'll be or do, they'll do it. Pastor, I can't do it. Why? Why you couldn't do it? Well, let me tell you what happened. All right. Okay. This is what you do with people like that. Well, let me tell you what happened. Now go to the altar and tell it to the Lord. Tell him what happened. Because see, me, you're going to lie to me. Tell it to him. Because I got too much to do. To sit and listen to your, whatever you want to call this stuff. This is what God is doing. Sister Chantel told me, she said, Apostle, I see people that were on the payroll. She told me this. She said, I saw people that were on the payroll. Some of these people were praise. There was the praise. Some of the people on the praise team, different things. They were on the payroll. There's another praise team, man. This praise team. I know better than that. Sure, please. Praise and worship started at what time? Another praise team. Maybe this praise team. What time praise and worship started? It's another praise team in this praise team. Because let me share something with you. If you're on the payroll here and your job paying you $20,000 a year, that's about all you average. And we're willing to pay you $50,000 a year. The only stipulation that comes along with it, you get fired for anything. Especially when you can't be punctual. And there's no question. I don't want to hear nothing. You out the door. Because when Rudy found out you making 50, Rudy praying to God. That's the church I need to be in. And Rudy coming with gifts and talents. You talking about, let me tell you something. It's a lot that go into ministry. It's a lot. Because you don't know who's in the service watching to take the church to the next level. You don't know who's watching saying, listen, can I pay him $10,000 to come and do this for me? You don't know what God is going to do, but God is watching your heart, your intentions. He's watching your intentions. The only thing I pray that what I say to God in prayer, get me to where you need me to be. Not to where I'm satisfied with me, but to where you're satisfied with the vessel you have made me. Because if I'm satisfied with me, it may not be satisfying to you. Because your life with attendance will show you. Listen, let me. You can tell who life is, whatever. Pull up their school record. Let me see your attendance record in school. And this will tell me the type of person you are. Listen, I may not have much, but my attendance record speaks volume. I remember when God told us, he said, tell the people to be punctual. But the thing that God is saying is bigger than you have any idea. Because God is looking 20 years in the future for where he's taking the ministry. You looking right now. And you ain't going up yet.
That's right.
I knew I was going to do. I made a joke last night. I didn't make it. Bless the Lord for you who are you too. We thank God for all that you are doing. We thank God even for the doors that he is opening in your life, and God is going to do great things in your life, and we're praying that God will continue to do those things. Amen. Bless the Lord for you.